Noob D&D Dad here with session number 48 of my son's D&D campaign that I am the Noob DM for. Alright, so session number 48, we have two little friends join us. So they're 12 years old, I can't remember, but so now we have my friend, who's my age, my son, who's 9, and then a couple of 12-year-olds joining. And it was a little hard, I'm not gonna lie, because they just wanted to mess around and be silly and not let me even do anything. So I think they're learning, and this is a place where new players can join as well, so I just need to be patient and be a better DM, I guess. So the night before session 48, my prep is the following. So what to do with the cousin character who has abandoned ship. Where's our XP at? Turns out our XP is at 5,678.4 each player. That's the current place of their XP. And they need to go from level 8 to 9. So level 8 you're at 34,000, level 9 you're at 48,000, so you need, 14,000 XP. Just looking at the Sword Coast Guide, my questions are, where are places they could go after leaving this castle? And I came up with the Warlock's Crypt, the Troll Claws, the Borerski Bridge, and the Trade Way, which could eventually lead to Fort Morning Lord or Baldur's Gate. So quite a few places they could go looking at it the night before, depending on how quick they got started after leaving the castle. So session 48 starts, and I retcon what they found at the wagon when they left the underground tunnel, in that I have them find blood and drag marks into some bushes. Tiefling blood, by the way. And all around these, so that when they go behind the bushes, they see like an indentation in the ground, like something's been pulled underground. And then all around on the ground, there's burn spots in the grass, like shapes of little bodies. And if you remember, in the death animation I invented in the last session, when an imp dies, it falls on the ground and just burns and burns and burns until there's nothing left. So it's implied that a bunch of imps died here, and then somebody was dragged underground, a tiefling, which is the cousin's species. I was gonna say race, but that's not allowed anymore. So I have my friend roll an investigation roll because he wants to see if he can find anything at the site. And he rolled a 22, so I had him find a necklace of fireballs with one bead left on it. And the whole time, and I'm like just waiting, and I'm like, so where's the sending stones? Like, did this guy have one? And they're like, oh yeah. So they pull it out and they're like, hey, are you there? And then he says, and I just made this up on the spot, I have him say, I'm not gonna make it. And then you hear, I'm taking them with me. I'm gonna take some of them with me. And then the ground just goes boom, and the whole earth like jumps up, and then the sending stone loses its power, as in the other one was destroyed. So it's implied that he died, but it's implied that he died killing a whole bunch of stuff underground. Now at this point, if they wanted to go under there and find the body, which my son did, or find him and rescue him, I would have to make that all up. I didn't really have that ready, but that would have been fun for me to do that. Thank goodness they talked each other out of it. And then, let's see, I think I have them fight a bunch of imps right there. And of course, the imps, after they get hurt a little bit, I just have them kind of turn invisible and go away. Okay, so the route that the players proposed is going straight to that bridge. And the random encounter roll for the long-term traveling, I actually rolled negative on for 200 miles. They moved, and so I think I have them deduct like 10 gold per 100 miles or something just for incidentals. So they moved all the way to this bridge, and then let's see, I said on the bridge they can see buildings to the south with smoke, right? So just implying that they're inhabited. And there's these like the death marshes or whatever, and I decided that I really wanted to have like a Death Knight aspirant join the fray. And for once, I picked the weapon that he was going to have. I had him have the flame tongue on his person, so he's going to use it on the players. And then as of right now, I have him with 6 zombies. I think they're just going to annihilate these guys. But the players, they came down the road. This does not look super pro, but they get to the end of the road, and there's a house, and then there's the fields of the dead, and then my son threw a rock at the ground, and it starts churning, right? Because the idea is that there's like undead under there or whatever, and eventually like undead people are like coming out of the ground, like the ground is like churning like a sinkhole. And that is where we ended because we were super out of time and my wife was giving me the look. But it's a Death Knight aspirant, and I'm super excited to DM that character. But the challenges from this session were the new kids, and when they went back at the castle, when there was the bushes and the bloody drag marks, and then I said there was like a little indentation in the ground. So they just latched into their brains that it was a pit in the ground, and then they all just started joking about pushing each other in the pit. So this game is meant to be kid-friendly and family-friendly, but I was super annoyed as a DM, and so I actually just sat there for a while, just like watching them all just talking about pushing each other in this pit, when it's not even a pit, it's just like an indentation in the ground. So I definitely have to work on my patience, but also we have to help these new players understand that like you do something and then the DM kind of explains what happens, and then you do something and the DM explains what happens. It's not just you sit there and just say what you're doing nonstop without stopping and the DM doesn't do anything, right? So that was a little frustrating, but they're new. What do you do with new or frustrating players? I would love advice on that topic. But I'm still having a blast, and I'm grateful that our game is a welcoming place for new players or players that have been outcast from other games or players that are in between other games. And my son loves having the extra people, and I love playing it. Honestly, just being totally open with you, one of the challenges of doing this is that there's 4 other kids besides my one son that is playing, right? So this is an activity that does exclude a large amount of the family. So while it's fun for me, the rest of the family has to kind of do their own thing. Which is why we started the little kid D&D campaign of like all of them, like the toddler, the 2-year-old, the 4-year-old, the 6-year-old, like everybody. We haven't got very many sessions of that, but we did start that session. So I need to do more of those little kid sessions because, like I said, truth be told, we are leaving a lot of the family out when we're doing me and my son and my friend. So we have to be careful when we schedule those to be sensitive to everyone else. Have you dealt with that in your games? Would love your advice. Anyway, this has been session 48 of my son's campaign. Having a blast. Thank you for following along. I decided to film under a murder bridge today just for fun. That's it though. We'll see you on the next one.